I'm still trying to finish all of Denzel Washington's movies, and pretty much what I have left are his like 2000s films that just look terrible, and some hard to find 90s films, or 80s films. And so today was one of those 2000s films that just looked terrible. I was shocked to discover that Unstoppable is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm like, really? Really? Ebert gave it 3.5 stars, and I'm like, what movie did you watch? Now, a few things. The basic plot of the movie, you know how it's gonna go. Some guys mess up, a train becomes unstoppable, some other guys on a train have to stop that train. Everyone works together, the train gets stopped, no one dies. That's the plot. What's weird about the film is the varying colorations of the characters and the setting. And interesting that this came out in 2010, right at the end, supposed end of the recession, and I'm watching it in 2017 in a post, y'all know what world, and it's there's just so much critique that I just so much. The one, okay, I want to start with the one thing I enjoyed about it, which was Rosario Dawson. She was fantastic, and it was nice to see her as like the main person running everything and keeping her cool and being like a very level-headed, capable woman in this very masculine profession. That was great. I enjoyed that. Things that I didn't like about the film: the Chris Pine character is kicked out of his house, and as you first meet him, and clearly his wife, ex-wife, you're not really sure, isn't answering his calls. He then later tells the Denzel character why it is he's been kicked out. It's a horrible, sounds like a horrible thing. And then his wife, you never actually hear anything about the wife. You literally see her. I don't even know if she ever speaks. Watches as he's trying to save the train, and clearly they're going to get back together. After you're told about this really horrible thing that he did, he's clearly abusive and has anger management issues, and but he saved a train and he almost died, so you're back together? Like, no. It was just hard to watch, and you knew it was coming, and you're like, what the fuck? Then you have Denzel Washington's teenage daughters work at Hooters, and it's like, okay, they're waitressing their way through college. They're teenagers. You say they work at Hooters, and then you make a joke with your new partner dude about Hooters, and I'm like, but your daughter's one of them? And I'm like, how do you make a joke like that and then have your daughters be working there and not be like, ugh. And I guess it was supposed to feel like forward or something, but also like, does everybody in Pennsylvania work at Hooters? And so that was just sort of supposed to be local color. And if you're gonna do that, then don't be disrespectful of the women who work at Hooters. Like, it was really weird, really weird. What else was I gonna say? Oh, so then the movie's somewhat about everyone being overworked and underpaid and getting cut, like Denzel's characters being forced into early retirement with half pay, and they all hate Chris Pine because all these people are coming in at a lower pay grade, and it's all about the streamlining of industry, and yet so it's commentary on that, and you could kind of see the train as like the economy, going out of control. And I see how that would make sense in a recession era. But watching it in 2017 and knowing sort of that all of the characters in the film would probably not vote in their best interest, let's put it that way. It's hard to care about any of these characters because I'm like, I don't know. I just like, there's movies that are set in sort of blue collar middle America that really make you care about the characters and like care about the fabric of America. But this movie just like assumes that you're gonna be on board with them, and it was just hard to watch sort of the deification of the everyman in a situation that was extraordinary, and then have there was a trailer for 127 hours after that, right before it, and that put me in a bad mood because that's another one where it's like, this man is a hero for saving himself by cutting off his arm for after getting in himself in a tight spot, and we very rarely laud everyday heroism in like women who manage to keep a job and also raise 4 kids on their own and shit like that. Like that never gets, those are never heroic. And I'm just so fucking sick of like men in extreme circumstances being the only heroes. I'm just fucking sick of it. And this movie and the DVD and the trailers on the DVD before it just exasperated my feelings. So even if that everyday hero man is Denzel Washington, I just don't care anymore. And this movie just really solidified all of that. That said, if the entire movie had been following the Rosario Dawson character as she like navigated this hostile work environment, that's a movie I'd have enjoyed. Because her character was the only character that I was like, I like this person, and I'd like to spend 2 hours with them. So I just didn't like this movie. And $100 million, really? You know how many like Moonlights you could make with $100 million? 100 of them. I'm just, ugh. It just feels like such a waste of money. And so many true stories. Like you could find a true story set in the same area that was like less, you know, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like that felt true to life in that area. Like instead of, I mean, this is me critiquing what kind of movies Hollywood makes rather than the movie that's there. I understand that, but like, let's follow the Denzel Washington character as he gets kicked out of his job that he's had for 28 years and the aftermath of that. Like, that's a really fascinating story. That's not the story that's here. And I get frustrated that the stories that Hollywood chooses to tell over and over again that are just, and then people buy the tickets and they go and then people go see movies like this because they're like, I could save that train, and it's like, no, you couldn't. But you're more like the drama that is Denzel Washington, but then no one wants to see a reflection of their own life, and so they want to see a reflection of themselves doing something extraordinary because then they can daydream that that's them. And that's just not who I am as a consumer. So movies like this are frustrating. So I can't recommend this film. I will get my way through these remaining Denzel films, I promise. This was 2010's Unstoppable. If you like popcorn flicks, I'm sure you'll enjoy this film. I really didn't like it. Yes.